Some people might ask after watching this video, so why even bother? Why are you jumping through so many hoops just to be able to knit? Why don't you just knit in the evening and call it a day? Well, thank you Squarespace for sponsoring this video. I know I'm wearing the exact same thing that I wore in last week's video, but I wanted to give it a little bit more attention because finished objects are few and far between, and I really love it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. But also, a week later, I'm realizing that I failed to link the video that I was talking about that featured this, the making of, at least the beginning of the making of this piece. So I'm giving myself another chance to do it right this time and link it for you in case you're curious. Otherwise, I mean, this is just like a regular old slipover. And I wanted to take the opportunity to maybe insert some extra shots now that I have a little extra time to show you some of the details that I'm really proud of with this little piece here. I just think it's really cute. And it's a lot more oversized than I was going for if I were going, no, that's wrong. It's the exact ease that I was going for if I was going to make exactly what I had intended from the very beginning, which was a sweater. For a slipover, I find it to be just a tad too slouchy. But I don't know, I tried layering it. I just don't have the right, you know, like that really cool look where it's like a white t-shirt with a slip over on top, that really nice style. I love it, but I don't have any t-shirts that I can do, or maybe this slip over is just a little too baggy for that look. Whatever it is, I tried doing that look. It didn't work out. So anyway, I am really serious about knitting slipovers again in the future. I have the novice slipover that is in my pattern library. I've never worked it up, and I've been thinking of combinations, but I'm really trying to prevent myself from doing that because I still have the obligation knitting that we talked about in the last video. All those things, I really would like to get at least one of those done before I cast on anything new. And on top of that, I have other projects that I want to get done that have deadlines. So I don't even know if a novice sweater is in my future. I would love for that to be the case, but I'm not quite sure. To prove that this is not filmed same day as the last video, I'll show you my progress on my zipper sweater. I will put this here. I wanted to hold it because I'm just mainly going to be talking today. I have some notes. But yeah, I thought it would be nice to show you where I'm at. So I finished the body, and I picked up for the sleeve, and I've started working on it. I think I can get this sleeve done. Well, I keep saying this evening. Yesterday, I was about, not in the exact same place, but I was halfway. Now I'm just a little over halfway, and I was thinking yesterday that I was going to finish it up in the evening, and then I just kind of laid there. I think this is some pretty beautiful progress as a mom of 2 toddlers, because I think I can count. Yeah, Noah counts as a toddler now. He's past 1, and once they turn 1, for some reason they're toddlers. He still looks like a baby to me, but we'll go with the fact that I'm a mom of 2 toddlers, and yeah, I'm able to knit. So I thought it would be nice to make a little video. I have some notes here. Actually, a lot of things to say about the topic of how to knit with toddlers. So whether you're a mom, obviously this kind of is more catered to moms, but if you're a cool aunt, uncle who wants to be knitting around little ones, here's my advice. Here's how to make it successful so that you can get some rows in. This is not a definitive guide by any means. So please chime in the comments, whatever works for you. Some of these things might not work for you. That also goes without saying that not everybody is the same. Not all toddlers are the same. So some of these things might work for my toddlers and in my house, but it might not work for you in yours. So, and that's totally okay. Number 1, start when they are young, like little, newborn stage. You need to start knitting. Well, of course, after the recovery period, when you're starting to feel more like yourself, or you want to get some rows in, you want something else to do besides taking care of a baby, you need some me time, you should pick up your needles and start knitting. It's actually the perfect time to knit the newborn stage because they're little potatoes. They are actually a lot more low maintenance in my case. I mean, I know if you have colic and things, that's not always true. We did deal with colic with the second a little bit, but still there were times during the day that things were calm, things were pretty easy. Newborns nap a lot, and if they are anything like my first, they like to nurse, and nursing sessions go on for forever. With my first, my nursing sessions were around like 30 minutes plus. So I was able to pick up my needles, and I really got used to nursing and knitting. Contact naps were also key, and I was able to knit. Surprisingly, the hand motions don't really disturb them. They just want their head on your chest, and they are completely happy. So it's actually a perfect time to knit. You might not think so. You might think that you're trying to adjust with the newborn, and that is true, but you still have a lot more free time than you think. And is a great way for you to get a little bit of me time in. Feel like you're doing something for yourself versus everyone else. If you've been with me for a while, you know that I'm a huge fan of Squarespace and what they have to offer. When I built my website a few years ago, I chose Squarespace because it was simple and they offered a wide range of beautiful templates to get started. On top of that, their SEO tools and selling options make it easy to launch your business, promote your brand, and reach your goals. My favorite part about them is that you don't need a background in website design to create something beautiful. Squarespace asks you all the right questions up front to pair you with the best templates and the tools that fit your needs. And after that, it's only a few clicks to make it your own. You can check it out for yourself by clicking the link in the description, and when you're ready to launch, you can use my link to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So thank you again, Squarespace, for sponsoring this video. The second biggest tip that I have is to use your scrap stash. This is really huge. For me, I thought it was really important to normalize my yarn and make it something that's not so forbidden. And my scrap stash was really key in playing a role to help with that. Everyone has skeins that they are not gonna really knit with. They just have them. They're not like the best skeins. Maybe you have some leftover yarn from all of the sweater projects that you're using or knitting, and you don't necessarily see yourself working up that. We still collect scraps because we feel almost too guilty to throw them away. If you're a mom, if you're an aunt, you should definitely reserve this for the toddler in your life because they will really, really enjoy it. It will take up a lot of time too. I mean, not all toddlers are really into sensory bends and that sort of thing. My first wasn't really, but I can definitely see my second is more into sensory play, exploring the fibers and how it feels. And it's just really interesting. A ball of yarn all rolled up. Something about it. They just love stretching it, pulling it. It's something to figure out for them, and it takes a lot of time. If you give them some skeins and show them that it's no big deal for them to play with it, they might not even be that interested in playing with it in the first place. So for an example of what not to do, when I was first starting out as a mom, I made my phone completely off limits. Like I made such a big deal that he was not allowed to look at my phone. And I think that really backfired. I'm really anti-screens, except for the reserved times that we allow it and for the short duration that we allow it. And my phone was really, really off limits. And I think that went negatively, and it's more like a game now that he's trying to grab it and take it away from me. And I think it was all because of the reactions that I had from the very beginning of him at an early age when he was trying to get my phone. So don't do that, and instead show them that it's something that's really normal and something that's really interesting. Giving them that option to play with it might actually make it so that they don't really want to play with it, if that makes sense. It's toddler logic. I don't really understand it fully either, but keeping them busy with your stash, allowing them to knit alongside you, that's really huge. So giving them the yarn that they can use, let them get it out of their system, pulling it apart, scrunching it up, making a mess of it. All those scraps can be that for them. They can explore it and get it out of their system. And as they get older, so for example, Noah would probably just tear through all the scraps, but Arthur is a little bit different and he doesn't really pull on my skeins anymore. He likes to pretend to knit. This is very in line with some other mother advice that you might see out there. With toddlers, they want to be interacting with you during the day. They want to do the things that you do. And that's why so many people advise you to do chores alongside with your toddlers. Have them with you when you do it, instead of just playing with them all the time, get them involved in the things that you have to do during the day, because they just want to get involved and be with you. And they want to learn new things. And I find that very true with my eldest toddler. He is definitely trying to learn what things are, how they work, and showing him makes it so that I can knit. I can tell him all about this project here. I'll tell them that I'm making a sweater for dad, that I'm using yarn, I'm knitting, I'm doing little rounds. This is a progress keeper. This is a stitch marker. You know, like these things are, yeah, they're very interesting to toddlers. They're new. Everything is new to toddlers. So you take that extra time, you explain some things. You might not knit as much as you would if you were by yourself, but you would get a little bit of bonding time in, show your toddler what you're doing, and then eventually he's going to get bored and he's going to go and do something else more fun to him. The new discovery that I've had recently, pattern books, recipe books, anything with pictures, the more adult books that just feel really special. They have a lot of words. My toddler is really into that. I don't know what it is, but really the boring books with lots of text, he's fascinated by. And then if you add in a couple of pictures, like the Knitted Animal Friends pattern books are, of course, 100% kid-friendly, because he'll flip through them and he recognizes that mom made the giraffe that's in there, that mama's making the tiger that's in there, and then he starts asking me for all of the other animals too. So I have quite the wish list going on for these pattern books. So that might bring you in some dangerous territory. You might be having some more obligation knitting than you realize, but it is just another thing to keep them busy while you have your knitting out. Something that's interesting for them that is part of the knitting world. Kids love regular household items. It is common knowledge, I feel like, in the parenting world that kids would rather play with mixing bowls and wooden spoons than they would the toys on their toy shelf. I don't know where the logic is in that. I think it's just exploring real everyday things. It's just really interesting seeing mom and dad use something. They want to be an adult and do it too. They look up to us. And knitting supplies are no exception. Toddler sees mama knit. Toddler wants to also knit and use all the fun tools that mama has. Now, not all of them are kid-friendly, but here are a couple that I'm comfortable with my toddler using, under supervision, of course. Take this with a grain of salt. I'm not saying that I'm right or wrong, but these are things that I'm comfortable with in my household. So the first one is the tape measure. I don't know, somehow my tape measure, I've had to replace it one other time because I lost it. It is a guitar, actually, in our house. So put on some music. Arthur picks up the tape measure and he is shredding. He goes to town. He absolutely loves that thing. So much that I wasn't allowed to use it for probably about 2 months. There was a 2-month span where it was on his toy shelf and not allowed to be put with my knitting things. And I was totally fine with that. I just got another one. I just thought it was really cute. And it brought a smile to my face. And so now anytime that I have my tape measure out while he's around, he says that that's a guitar. And it's just another one of those special memories that I'm going to have of him taking my... It's like walking around with your shoes. Some toddlers slip on mama's shoes. Some toddlers take mama's tape measure. And I'm totally fine with that. This is an interesting one. So plastic stitch holders, this is kind of the same deal. When I say stitch holders, I mean like those long cords. I actually have them here. Stitch holders for like when you're putting stitches on hold. It's really long plastic cord. They attach to the needle and you slip your stitches off. Yeah, I don't know. It's the same thing. I guess it's a really long string-like thing that's made of plastic. He just doesn't know what to make of it. He doesn't use this as a guitar. This one doesn't have like lines or anything, so there's no strings there. So I don't really know why he likes it. I think he just likes to hold it. It's just very interesting. He's trying to figure out what it is. He likes to unwrap it. He likes to wrap it back up. It's a sensory thing. My knitting journal is another one. And Arthur just really loves books in general, so this is really not surprising. Also, like the pattern books, he just loves things with writing in them, and he will pretend to read them. And he will tell me all kinds of stories. It's mainly gibberish, but he finds it fascinating that I've scribbled things in there, numbers and in other like little drawings and stuff, so he finds it really interesting. He pretends to draw in it as well. This just depends on your child's personality, what they feel about books. My eldest especially, it's too soon to tell with my youngest, but my eldest, he's pretty gentle. He doesn't put things in his mouth. He doesn't really like try and rip pages or anything. He's quite gentle. If they've learned gentle hands and how to be very kind with certain materials, I will give more things as I can trust him and I know like what to expect out of him. And that's just kind of as they get older too. You know, like toddlers range from 1 to like almost 4. I don't know. I think after 4, I wouldn't really count them as a toddler anymore. So, I mean, that just kind of depends on what they've gotten used to, what they've outgrown. And that's why I really think it's key to expose them to these things early on. So then they kind of just get over it. You know what I mean? I'm not very concerned with my interchangeable needle set with Arthur. I've been there next to him and just observing him and seeing what he does. It's kind of the boundary that I set early on with him too. Those things stay next to mama. Those things stay with mama. Yeah, those are boundaries that I've set. So far, we've been okay. And if we don't adhere to those boundaries, then they get taken away and we deal with the meltdowns, but it's just part of the learning process. So then in the future, it makes it a little bit easier for me. Loose stitch markers, darning needles, that sort of thing. Off limits for the little ones, doesn't even matter. I'm just not, I can trust Arthur, I think, with those things, but no. Another tip would be to have your less complicated projects out. I think most of us cycle through projects as it is. So you have, depending on your mood, one whip for when you're feeling a little bit more complicated and the other whip when you just need something to wind down and not really think about. Definitely keep those mindless knitting projects out when you want to knit around toddlers. You need to be able to drop things at a moment's notice, depending on the age of your child especially, and what they're doing while you're also knitting, because it's not always, I list all of these things and it's not always a guarantee that your child is going to be sitting right next to you. This is really in the case that the child wants to be playing with you, wants that attention, but you also want to give attention to yourself and what you want to be knitting on. That's just how you can make it work alongside your toddler. A lot of the time, once they've gotten used to the fact that you're knitting and they're cool with that, they go and play independently on their own, you know? So they're not always going to be next to you, but that being said, you need to have one eye on them. You need to have a project that you can feel comfortable picking up and putting down at a moment's notice. Stitches might be dropped. That's just the hazard of knitting around little kids. They might grab your knitting and you might have a bunch of stitches just slide off the needle. It's happened to me more times than I can count. So it means a lot to have stockinette, 1x1 rib, things that I'm very used to repairing. I'm not gonna lie, giving your child a sibling also really helps in the knitting department. It allows you to get some time to yourself. I reliably have 15 to 20 minutes of knitting time in the morning lately, ever since Noah has started really being mobile and active. The two of them have been playing beautifully together. Now, I know siblings don't always get along. That's not a guarantee. And of course, this was a joke. That's a joke. I'm not saying that you need to have more kids to be able to knit. I'm just saying that my kids are playing really nicely together in the morning. So that also helps them be a little bit more independent of me for playtime. As a stay-at-home mom, they do rely on me for their entertainment throughout the day. So having each other has made it really a lot easier on me, I've noticed, in the last couple of months. My job has gotten a little bit easier because the two of them are interested in the same things. They're very close in age. So it's been helpful. I have to say that's a joke because I feel like I'm going to get some angry comments about that one. That is a joke. Okay, all of this advice can be thrown out the window, though, if your child is going through some milestones. So I'm noticing it in particular recently. I have forgotten what it is like to have a 1-year-old. I really did forget. It feels like Arthur was 1 so long ago, even though he it's almost been 2 years, so he's about to turn 3. And I just really forgot a lot about how challenging having a 1-year-old is. There's just so much going on. They're learning so much in that at the 12 months, around the 12 months time. Between 12 and 18 months, I feel like is the most challenging because they're learning how to walk. They're more aware of their surroundings. They have a clingy phase around that time, or at least both of mine did. Just because you're going through a tough time now, just because you can't get some time to yourself now, doesn't mean you'll never be able to. I am proof enough that you can knit. Even if you're cranking out projects slowly, you're still doing something, and that's something to be accomplished, something to feel accomplished about. I think it also, that feeling of panic that you're not going to have any time to yourself, it fades. I feel like I require less free time, less me time than before, and that's just kind of learning how it is to be a mom. And a crafting mom, you kind of just let go of the worry that you're not going to knit through your stash. And it takes some time, it takes some adjustment, but you start to feel content. Trust me, you do. It just takes some time. And everything, again, is a season. It doesn't mean that you're going to be this way forever. A couple months from now, you're going to look back and kind of even forget how you felt during those tough times. So keep that in mind for sure. Now, going through all of this, some people might ask after watching this video, so why even bother? Why are you jumping through so many hoops just to be able to knit? Why don't you just knit in the evening and call it a day? Well, I do think it's really important to get your children to look and see you enjoying some time for yourself. They look at mom and only think of mom as their source of entertainment. They might not get the best version of you. So if you can squeeze in some me time and show your children that it's important for mama to prioritize things that she loves and enjoys, they might get a better version of you, and they learn something valuable that you're not... How to word this? It's important for mom to have fun too. It's important for mama to do the things that she enjoys, she loves. It's recharging. It's a good lesson for them, I think, to see that. And they can learn to prioritize that in themselves as well, to find some passions. If you show that you are passionate about something, your toddler is looking up at you and they are seeing like this person, this wonderful mom who is creative, who is determined to get things done, who can craft something with her hands. I think there's a lot of value in that. So going through these hoops might seem a little silly on the outside if you don't have little ones, or if you're still expecting a little one very soon and you're watching this video to prepare. I think, you might not have that perspective yet, but it is important, even if it does seem like it's a little extra effort. The extra effort, I think, is worth it. Just to show that mom has a life, We're not robots. We're people that need to be stimulated creatively. We are, we're artists in some fashion. So I think it's good to show that off to your little ones. So that's why you do it. So I hope this video was interesting and helpful. An interesting discussion for us moms out there. I would love to hear your tips below. I definitely didn't exhaust everything. If I could sit down and maybe brainstorm a little bit more, I probably have some more to say, but these are the things that came to my mind as I was taking some quick notes. So, and these are the prominent ones that have really helped me out, which is really nice. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching and spending your knitting time with me, mamas. If you only had a couple of minutes to get some rows in, I'm really thankful that you decided to spend them with me, and I will see you in the next video.